A very brief summer time in England is winding its way up with well, look at that, and I think it is the most vivid rainbow I've ever seen in my entire life. It really is just absolutely beautiful. And the summer in England is short. We know it's short, but it's amazing. It's so intense for such a short window. Everything, the greens are just greener than anything on the planet, and the rainbow, look at this, absolutely exquisite, really beautiful. And this is where I live. It's attached to a farm in Worcestershire, and this beautiful afternoon with this wonderful aerial display. My blog for end of July 2016, back in England after an amazing 2 weeks in Namibia, 1 week in Joburg and 1 week in Cape Town. Joburg was horrible. It generally is. I don't like Johannesburg at all. Good to see some friends though. That was good. A couple of business colleagues. It was nice. But I don't like Joburg. I always dread going there. It was this feeling of tension in Johannesburg. And the drivers, incredibly fast, impatient drivers. So I don't like Joburg. I like Cape Town. My best friend lives in Cape Town. Love visiting Cape Town, my old home. And I see, and it's really quite sad for me because I see South Africa in such a difficult state. So many of my friends just leaving, mostly going to New Zealand. Just had enough, and those that can't go are just really hoping for the best. So a challenging time for that. I'm very close to South Africa because I'm 38 or so years living there, and so I bleed when I hear bad stuff and rejoice when I hear good stuff, even though I'm no longer living there, and doesn't affect me greatly, but it does affect me a bit. It does affect me a bit because I want to go back every year to shoot my programs in Africa. There's an African part of me that will always be with me, forever. I always have a yearning to go back, particularly the Kalahari. But anyway, so this year's actually been amazing. Started in February with the Oman trip through OAU and Oman in a Toyota Land Cruiser 6-wheel drive. Then through the United States. I'm busy now at my editing suite. I love the editing process. I'm editing the USA trip. We went through Death Valley. You can check out the t-shirt, see Death Valley. And I got the t-shirt from the horrible part of Death Valley. That's the touristy part. It's actually not very nice. It's a place aptly named Furnace Creek. It was very hot there, extremely hot. However, not as hot as Dubai was a week ago. A little less than a week than I was there. And it was 49 degrees in Dubai. So it wasn't that hot at Furnace Creek, but it was about 46 and drier, but very hot. And the United States was fantastic. I always love going to the US, and I get all kind of misty when I'm editing the stuff. I love going to the States. I have such a lovely time there. I just think the people are fantastic, and it was great. The big show, the Overland West Expo, was, as usual, great, even better this year. Every year I go, it's a little bit better, a little bit bigger. But I have to tell you something that happened. Gwyn was with me during the trip to the States, and I was asked to do a presentation at Overland West, which I did do, 7 o'clock in the evening, and people started coming in and filling the pews. I suppose the room could contain between 200 and 250 people, I reckon. And there was a French-Canadian announcer. Well, he was kind of organizing everything, and he was the first person in my life that's ever actually got the pronunciation of my name right. He said, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased to announce our presentation this evening, Andrew White." He said it perfectly. I can't say it that well. They whistled. They clapped and whistled, and and Gwyn, who was sitting on the front pew, as it were, She looked at me and she looked behind. She couldn't believe I had a very big smile on her face, and she was, what is going on? And you know, anyway, it was great. Such a lovely welcome, and I'm a hit there. It's great. And the trip was fantastic, and I learned a lot about the camper. Now the camper, four-wheel campers loaned me one for about, I think we were in Death Valley for about 7 or 8 days. Death Valley and a little bit on the north rim of Grand Canyon. And living in the camper, especially with Gwyn with me, I have an announcement to make. She used a porta potty, one of those little portable, one of the new ones that was actually part of the package with four-wheel campers. I must say it worked very, very well. And Gwyn has done her time doing number ones and number twos in many, many bush locations all over the globe. And she said finally to me, Andrew, I want one of these in our camper, please. So I understand. We've all been there, done that. And it worked, didn't smell, and it actually was fine. So I have to acquiesce and get one of those things. And we will be putting one in amongst the jeers and thumbs down that I will probably get for that. We will be putting a portable toilet in our camper that we're going to be building onto the Toyota Land Cruiser 6x6. The process of getting that vehicle is taking a little longer than I thought it would, hoped it would. I hope by now that we would have a thing kind of sorted. We do have the one half of it. The one half that I've got sorted is multi-drive in Australia. They'll be contributing the because I can't. It's too expensive for me to be honest with you. It's just for that amount of money for that whole thing. I have to rely on some sponsorship. And I was so impressed with the vehicle in Oman. I'm happy to say, well, yeah, I want that. So I'm not going to be doing endless reviews on it. I've done my review. It's fantastic, unbelievable. Actually, now I'm going to use it and explore Australia with it. But my idea also is I don't want to just build a camper. I'm intending to do some very long range and long distance and long time span trips in Australia. Australia is so big. We think our distances in southern Africa are long. Yeah, they are long. They're nothing compared to Australia. Multiply that by 3/4 to try and get the distances. Enormous distances. Which means to excuse me, which means to go to a place, that I'm going to be living in Western Australia, and I've got 1 or 2 months left here, waiting for a last little thing on the visa issues. Don't think it's a big issue. Western Australia, and if I think about, I'm going to be living in the Perth area, and there's a place called the Kimberleys right up northern part of the Western Australia. It just looks unbelievable. I remember 20 years ago discovering it somewhere and thinking, wow. But now it's 3 days to get there. And so, that's a long time span. I'm used to those long time spans, but now they're kind of even longer. So I want to be able to stay in places for longer. So the camper has to be more comfortable because I work. Gwyn also works from home. She writes. Her fantasy novels are doing extremely well. And so we want to be able to write. So we're actually going to have a little office place inside the camper, so we're protected from wind and rain and weather, so we can live in it or out of it. It's a combination. I've noticed in the US and in Europe, most of the campers are mostly live in with a bit of a live out of function, but mostly live in. Africa and Australia, it's the exact opposite. They're not designed really for living in, a bit, but not much, mostly living out of. I've got to do a combination of both of those. That's a big challenge for me. Working and living in the four-wheel camper in the United States was a revelation. What a great product that is. What a good product it is. I get so annoyed, and I got annoyed at a few things that we had on the 6x6 in Oman that were added to the vehicles. The rooftop, the tent we had was terrible. I get very, very upset. Actually, yeah. I get ticked off when a piece of equipment is just bad. badly designed. And I get very frustrated with it, because it doesn't need to be badly designed. It doesn't have to cost the earth to be well designed. Nothing in that four-wheel camper annoyed me. Nothing. Not a single thing. There are a few things. I mean, I wouldn't build the exact same thing, but I'm definitely going to steal some ideas, without question. So I'm busy editing the video now on the four-wheel camper. It'll be released onto YouTube towards the end of this year. And it was a huge learning experience. I then went to Germany and went to the Abenteuer Allride show in Bad Kissingen in Germany, and again saw lots and lots of campers, the German European style, which is far more refined. The finishes are better than the Americans. Yes, they are a bit better. I think they've gone over the top, and many designs have just gone so far. Why do you need those surfaces that look fantastic, but after 2 weeks in the bush, they're all scratched, and you don't have to worry so much about them that you can't enjoy the camping experience because you're worrying about scratching them and things. So I think, for my taste, I think the Germans actually take it a little bit too far. Although they've got some lovely designs, really impressive designs. Again, inspiration, ideas. So that's what I'm busy doing now. I love the editing process. I've recently, if you haven't seen it, last night on YouTube, well, not last night, you'll get this towards the end of the month. On YouTube, I uploaded a review I did on the Nightcore Tiny Monster 1.6 GT flashlight. It's quite amusing. I think you'll enjoy it. And go and watch it if you haven't seen it. So this, in effect, is my last trip. Just completed my last trip. And this might even be my last blog in the UK, depending on the paperwork. And I won't be doing any traveling in the immediate future, but hoping to be in Australia within the next 2 months. It's now towards the end of July, and starting to shoot videos for the build of this. It's going to be an amazing truck. Thank you for watching. If you would like to take our relationship to the next level, support me on Patreon. Just $1 a month to support our video productions. Download everything I've ever made and watch them on the big screen on forexoverland.com. Or subscribe now on YouTube.